So thank you everyone for joining us today for this session on behalf of Newcastle University Business School. My name is Jen Simpson and I work here in the Business School as part of the student recruitment team. And I also work as part of the team who more broadly are concerned with student experience and making sure our students have a fantastically positive and enriching time when they study here with us and also beyond. Today's session is an informal session, so if you find yourself with questions, please feel free to drop a message in the chat box, or if you're feeling brave, do feel free to ask questions as we go. Today we're focusing on our postgraduate programs that fall within our accounting and finance subject group area. So specifically, we're going to be talking about our 5 postgraduate programs in that particular area. Now, it could be that you are still considering which program to apply for. It might be that you're interested in learning a little bit more about the differences between each program. It might be that you're an offer holder already, in which case, congratulations. And this might be a good opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about what to expect when you join us here in Newcastle, and a little bit more about the student experience and what your life will look and feel like when you're here with us. So I'll move on to the next slide. So the agenda for today is basically a whistle-stop tour, with the focus very much being on the opportunity to hear from our academic colleagues who work across our various accounting and finance programs, and we'll be able to provide you with much more information on our programs and on what to expect, on the content, what makes these programs really strong. First of all, I'll cover off the value that we consider postgraduate study to have. And then we'll get straight down into the overview of the programs in this area, and then we'll move on from there with a bit more of a broader discussion. We'll look at career opportunities and the admissions process, as well as scholarship opportunities and what to expect there as well. As I said before, if you do have any questions, do please feel free to add them in the chat box and we'll try and address them as we go forward. So first of all, obviously, if you're a offer holder already, then you are well aware of the value of a postgraduate degree. But for those of you who may be on the fence about what this might look like or aren't sure of the value of a postgraduate degree, it's worthwhile just considering the sort of value that this kind of opportunity can afford you for your career and for your academic learning more initially. So first of all, a postgraduate degree can enhance your career prospects and therefore your earning potential. Now, it very much depends if you want to carry on focusing in a particular area. Perhaps you have already studied accounting or banking or finance or something finance-led at undergraduate level, and you've really enjoyed it and you're looking to specialize even further. Alternatively, if you've come from a different area and you have an undergraduate degree that's in something completely different or completely separate, a specialized postgraduate taught degree can help you pivot to another area of interest and can provide you with some really practical and targeted set of skills that will allow you to target a whole range of careers within a particular industry or area of interest. So it really depends what you want to get out of it. And, that's where these sorts of webinars, I hope, will help you make that decision that's right for you. You can build your existing knowledge or develop a new area of expertise. You can also, by studying in the UK, if you are traveling from outside of the UK, have the opportunity to build a global network of contacts. Now, that's not just the people that you will be sat next to in your classes and in your seminars, but also a global network of academics that we have here at Newcastle who come from all over the world. We also have a really healthy alumni community, which boasts thousands and thousands, around 9,000 students across the world, and we have regular opportunities for you to connect with them. And the idea is that by becoming a student here at Newcastle University Business School, you then have the opportunity to build basically a network of people who are going to be have a shared experience of studying at the business school in your corner for the rest of your career, that you can then build relationships with and feel part of a community regardless of where you end up in the world. We also take the idea of career development and return on investment in your study very seriously here. So as well as a fantastic academic experience, we also work hard with you from day one to help you explore and consider what your career options are going to be after your degree. We have a dedicated careers team within the school and a whole set of resources around events, mentoring, in-person guest speaker sessions, graduate employers coming onto campus. So there's a whole range of activities for you to get involved in, as well as one-to-one guidance as well. And we also hope that aside from all of this really important activity, that you have a fantastic experience studying here in the UK. Newcastle upon Tyne is a fantastic city. I would say that. I'm very biased because I am from here originally, but it is a fantastic city with lots to offer in terms of cultural experience for you. So we hope that you would get a lot from that and start to feel a little bit at home in Newcastle as well. So that's a little bit on postgraduate degrees and why we think they're worthwhile. Moving on though, today we're very much here to focus on the accounting and finance aspect of our PGT offering. So we're going to start just very briefly, and I'm not going to go into too much detail here because we have the experts on the call, and I think it's more important that you hear from them than you do from me. But just to kind of do a whistle-stop tour, our accounting and finance subject group area for the business school comprises of 5 main programs. The first being accounting, finance and strategic investment. Now, I should say all of our programs here at Newcastle University and within this area are accredited by globally recognised organisations, which will help you when you come to think about your career options after graduation. So you'll see on the right-hand side of this particular slide that we are ACCA accredited, and we are also CIMA accredited as well, but I will let our academics talk in a little bit more detail about what that means. But it does basically mean that all of our programs are recognised in industry and have a certain level of quality as a result of that. For accounting, finance and strategic investment, this kind of program is the sort of program that will appeal to people who are keen on moving their experience onto a more strategic level. So this sort of opportunity, this sort of program will allow you to build solid skills in consultancy, and you will be in a position to interrogate accounting and financial statements. You will be in a position to work with really closely within large-scale organizations in terms of being able to map strategic progress, write reports on this, and really be able to work at a senior level to be able to help guide organizations of all different industries into a financially sustainable model. The skills acquired during this, you'll work on things like investment and decision making, and you will test a range of quantitative and qualitative skills. So for this degree, it is a conversion degree, so you don't necessarily have to come with a specific undergraduate degree, but a good level of numeracy is expected, because there will be numeracy led modules in that. Again, I'll let the academics pick up on that in a little bit more detail. Just in terms on the right-hand side of this particular slide, you'll see some logos there. Now, those are logos of organisations that are graduating class who finished their studies in September last year. These are the sorts of organisations that they've gone to work in. That's not limited to, in previous years, we've had students who go and work in the Big Four, so Deloitte, KPMG, EY, places like that. And they go into a whole range of different types of job roles, so things like consultancy, trading, investment, investor relations, etc., etc. Moving on, we've got accounting, finance and financial analysis, and I guess the academics can talk in a little bit more detail about the key differences here, but as a layperson, the way I understand it is that this particular degree will help you interrogate the numbers. So it's very analytical. Again, it is a conversion degree, so you would not be expected to come from a particular undergraduate background, but again, strong numeric skills would be advised on this particular degree. It's very analysis led, and you will also, in conjunction with that, you will also experience online training with tools that are going to help you build those skills and master those skills. So we have a Bloomberg suite. So Bloomberg work with us to provide terminals based here in the business school, and those terminals allow you to really test your investment skills and allow you to track the market and understand the trading market globally as well. So moving on, MSc Finance, slightly more broad, less specialized degree, but is absolutely for anybody that's keen to understand finance as a business function. It'll give you the opportunity to learn how financial markets and institutions function and interact with the real economy. You'll be able to learn about different types of financial markets. So everything from stocks, bonds, foreign exchange, derivatives, you name it. You will get an overview of how they work, what the key principles are, and some theory behind that as well. In terms of special features, you will have the opportunity to take part in a live financial trading game. You will also have access to the Bloomberg suite of training as well. And you'll see from this particular slide that there are a huge range of organizations that you can go off and work for globally. So there'll be organizations that you recognize there, KPMG, Capgemini, but also our students go off and work all over the world in the field of finance, and that's a really this particular degree is a really fantastic way of working in lots of different industries. With banking and finance, this is an opportunity for you to consider how you can pursue a career in things like you could become a stockbroker, you could work in investments, again, derivatives, you could become a finance manager within an organization, and you can also dip your feet into being able to understand a little bit more about the workings of the banking and finance markets across the world. It's very research-led, and you will have problem-solving challenges within this particular degree, depending on the modules that you choose. And you will hopefully leave this particular program with expertise in financial markets, an understanding of banking systems and the financial instruments that are used all over the world to manage these systems. And last but not least, we have our quantitative finance and risk management program. This particular program is fascinating in that it looks at the operations and behavior of international financial markets. As you can see from this slide, it's not necessarily a career off the back of this particular program isn't necessarily limited just to financial institutions. You do have the opportunity to work in lots of different organizations. So as you can see here, we have Accenture, we have Grant Thornton, who are both consultancy organizations. One's very heavily weighted towards IT and digital. One's a bit more operational. We have Amazon there as well as opportunities to join organizations across the world as well in China. This is a very research-led program, and it will allow you to develop the skills necessary to problem solve in this particular area. And again, it will require you to develop practical skills in quantitative methodology. So without further ado, that's very much a whistle-stop tour of the programs we have available here at Newcastle University Business School, but I do think it's more important that you hear from our academics. So today we are very lucky to have Dia, Lana, Bartosz and Andre joining us, and there's a quick overview of their areas of expertise. I'm going to hand over. I've got some questions ready, but please, if you're dialing in and you have some questions that you would like to ask, please feel free to do so in the chat box. In the meantime, I'm going to hand over to the academics, and I'll kick off our little discussion today with, well, I think actually, Bartosz, I'll come to you first of all, if that's okay. I'd be really interested from your perspective to understand a little bit more about the certification that our programs have, and if you have any guidance or insights on the importance of the certification within our programs.
Right. Thanks, Jen. Thanks for this introduction. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. So my name is Bartosz Gepka. I'm a professor of finance here at the business school. And I've been involved in these programs for several years now. Right. So as Jen rightly said, we've got a wide range of links with professional bodies. And on each program, it's sort of different bodies and different aspects which they cover. I cannot speak to the accounting ones. On the finance side, which is finance, banking, finance, and Q-Farm, we've got 3 main bodies and 1 accounting one, which is just covering 1 module. So one which maybe people would have heard about is the CFA link we have with the Chartered Financial Institute. So this is a global institute based in the US and recognized globally. And our programs, Banking and Finance, are recognized by CFA as delivering the necessary content for people to then go on and become financial analysts. We also have, for the Banking and Finance program in particular, a strong link with an organization called the Chartered Banker Institute, which is based in the UK, but it's, or headquartered, but it's also a global institution. And they look in particular into retail banking. So Newcastle University, because of our program and how they were excited about quality, we are one of very few universities in the world which have the status of Center of Excellence for the Chartered Banker Institute. So students studying on banking and finance, they can, if they select specific modules, they can become, get recognition as professional bankers with the institute. So this helps potentially a lot with your careers, and it just comes through studying specific modules. So there are no, unlike with CFA and other institutions where you have to have extra exams, this doesn't include extra exams. We also have strong links with something called CISI, Chartered Institute of Securities and Investment, which is UK based again, but has a global collaboration. So they are present in many countries across the world. And they specialize mostly in wealth management. And again, we have agreements with them regarding their recognition of what we teach our students and so on. And also we tend to have guest speakers coming from CISI affiliated wealth management companies and working and talking to our students. So this roughly is what we do on the finance side. Now for the accounting side, I would ask Dia or Lana to comment on that.
Hi, thank you, Bartosz. I can, so I am the DPD for Accounting, Finance and Financial Analysis, and we have accreditation for with AIA, which is Association for International Accountants, and also ACCA. With ACCA, once you complete your degree, you can have exemption for up to 5 papers on ACCA, and the papers are business and technology, management accounting, financial reporting, and financial management. So on completion of some modules that is on your curriculum, you'll be able to get exemption from these ACCA modules. We're also affiliated with CFA, similar to the finance modules that Bartosz was saying, and you'll also have access to CFA scholarships, which is available on all of the finance and accounting modules. And I think for accounting, finance and strategic investment, Lana, do you mind just taking over for the accreditation? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dia. And yes, for accounting, finance and strategic investments, we covered the two internationally renowned accounting bodies. We got accreditation from them. One is ACCA, as Dia mentioned, and the other is CIMA. So ACCA, from that we got 4 exemptions, and our students looking for ACCA exemptions, they have a typical appetite to go into accountancy firms to undertake assurance or auditing, that's what they call. And also the other type is mainly our students from this program will all tend to go into the consultancy aspects of the accountancy firms. And the other professional bodies we got for this program is called Chartered Institute of Management Accountant.
this is one of the biggest management accounting professional bodies around the world. What this professional body does is they are allowing people to fast track to the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and then CEO positions within the company. So from this, because the course and our curriculums are very much aligned to that aspects of the industry and the work involved, and they give us the highest recognition, which is called fast track route. So within the accreditations that we have with CIMA, then the exemptions we got is we got 11 paper exemptions. So you will fast track to the final stage, which is a strategic stage, and you only need to sit for 5 papers. So all this is just indicate the relevance of our curriculum to the real world, and also recognize the professional accreditation is just irrelevant. Okay, any questions?
Nothing's coming through so far,
Jan?
Lana, but I'll keep you. Oh, I think we've got one. Portia,
Okay.
do you want to feel brave
Yeah.
and ask your question?
Okay, good afternoon. Please, I want to find out the difference between the MSc Finance and then MSc Banking and Finance. And then can you elaborate more on the MSc Finance for me?
Right, so I guess that would be me again. Thank you very much. Thanks for your question. So as you might expect, there isn't a huge difference because, of course, banking is part of the financial system. So there will be a lot of overlaps, but they do differ in terms of modules you can take to some degree, and also professional qualifications. So if you're interested in the Chartered Banker Institute pathway, then it's I would go for banking and finance MSc. So in general, what we do with banking, finance, and Q-Farm is that we keep people's options very open. And this means that if you join us, and let's say you join us on banking and finance MSc, what it is to a large extent up to you, what you want it to be. Because what we do is we offer some compulsory modules which everyone has to take. So, you know, if you study banking and finance, you still need to know about what a stock market is and, you know, and basic data analysis techniques and so on. But beyond that, you have a set of optional modules, and so it's actually up to you how you structure your program, and this might depend on, you know, what direction you would like to specialize in, or what professional bodies you would like to be more aligned with, maybe for professional exam exemptions and so on in the future, or helping you with those. So to help people out with that, what we do is in the very first week, in the induction week, we have a session where we present all the modules which you can choose from to our students, and then they can talk to the academics teaching those modules if they have any questions or they need clarifications or more details. And then we give you a week or two to actually make your final decision which modules you will be studying. Right. So it might be that, you know, a person on finance will choose a module set which will be very similar to a person on banking and finance, because, you know, we don't want to restrict people. We want to give our students the information they need to make good choices for themselves, and also, you know, make these choices available to them. So there isn't a strict distinction, because it just depends on individual students what they actually want to do, and we try to support them in these decisions and also give them as many options as it's sensible and feasible for us. So it's up to you effectively. You can shape what your program will be about to a large extent.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. But then I want to find out with the finance, when you read that course, like what are some of the opportunities that you have?
So for all programs, by the way, we do have a list of modules on each program, which are compulsory ones, which are optional ones. So in terms of what you will be studying or what you could be studying, I think it's a good starting point just to go to the web page and see what modules are available. So effectively, it covers things like stock markets, how to value companies, bond markets, foreign exchange markets, financial derivatives, portfolio management. So if you are into trading, for instance, or portfolio management for the longer run, how do you put different stocks and bonds and Bitcoins together such that the mix, the portfolio is profitable and not too risky. There are also modules on, for instance, sustainable finance, how financial system can help with environmental protection, sustainability, and so on. So there is a wide range. Why you would study that, again, is difficult to answer because there is a wide range of things you can do on that, and it's up to the individual
Okay,
student.
so I was actually asking about like job opportunities when it comes to finance. Because I know with banking and finance, you mostly be with the banking sector. So when you take finance, for instance, what are some of the job opportunities?
Banking sector as well. So in terms of jobs, I think in general, it's not the case that for finance that your choice now restricts massively the kind of jobs you will be applying for. Mostly because programs are pretty broad, maybe not in accounting, so I can't speak about that, but in finance, the programs are broad enough because they need to cover a lot of areas in finance and banking, such that you fit into many different jobs within the financial industry. And also when you apply for jobs, companies don't want a very, very specific program with a very specific name. Also because the name might be hiding anything, right? You can have a finance degree from one university, doing certain things, and from another university doing very different things in finance as well. So the name of the program for employers is not that telling, and they are open to people who, you have to do well on your modules in your exams. That's what's important. And if you want to work for a bank, you shouldn't study medicine, right? But if you study finance or banking finance or something related, then they will be happy. So it's not that much of a high stake decision now which program you choose, I would say. But you have, as long as you're interested in the general area, it's not sort of confining you to very, very specific career. Your doors will remain open, but it's more important to do it well, right? So to get high marks and also engage in what we call extracurricular activities, which we offer to students as well, so that when you go to interviews, they can see that you can work hard and you get high exam results, and you've been involved in other activities. So I think that's more important.
Just to add in there, Bartosz, Portia, just to make you aware that when it comes to sort of careers guidance, which will work with you on an individual basis on this sort of thing, it's worth thinking about the kind of the sort of way in which you're learning within whichever degree you decide to come onto. So for example, if you're doing group work, for example, or perhaps you're doing a research project as part of your dissertation, or perhaps you are pulling together a report, it's worth thinking about those sort of behaviours and those kinds of activities. So regardless of what your degree title ends up being, if you're applying for a role in, say, project management, for example, if you are able to pull on the idea that you've worked in a group setting before, or you've led a group, or you've problem solved in some way, you can begin to make your degree, you can sort of highlight the flexibility of that, if it makes sense. It's also worth bearing in mind that the idea that finance, along with something like marketing, is a functional area of a business. So you could work in any kind of industry you wanted, really, with this kind of degree, because all businesses, regardless of their size and their area of focus, will have some sort of finance function within that organization. So it can come in lots of different ways. And just looking at the slide here as well, you've got consultancy in there, you've got the quite analytical sides of it as well. But added to which, finance, I've known of graduates who have done finance MSc programs who've gone to work in lots of different ways, not all tied to finance. It could be project management, it could be digital, it could even be marketing, it could be organizational development. So just to kind of echo what Bartosz was saying, that it is possible to kind of, really make this degree flex for your areas of interest. Just on that, and I don't know who wants to answer this, is there any kind of support within school when it comes to choosing the modules that our students might want to pursue? How does it tend to work? Or do students have the opportunity to talk in more depth about the kind of module selection process?
Yeah, so that's, I think, what I was trying to say, that I think on accounting programs, there are no options. So that doesn't, accounting colleagues don't have this problem and don't have the solution. On finance, we do the opposite. We offer a lot of options to allow individual students to pick and choose what they like and how they want to specialize. So in the very first week before teaching starts, we have this big session where all the optional modules are presented by people who actually teach them, for students to get a better idea of what these modules actually involve, what you do on them. And then students have opportunities to ask specific questions to those people who actually teach on those modules. And then they are asked to make their choices over a week or two, I think, at the beginning, before proper teaching starts. So there is this session, there is Q&A sort of opportunities with academic staff members, and information on the web. So we do provide a lot of ways how you can learn about the module.
Just to remind everybody, you can ask a question at any time. But I wanted to, one of the questions that we get asked quite a lot when we come to events and talk to students about the sort of programs that we offer, we often get asked what's the key differences between our accounting and finance and strategic investment and our accounting and finance and financial analysis programs. And I wondered if Dia and Lana could maybe elaborate a little bit on that for us on that point.
Dia, do you want to talk or do you want me to explain?
You can go ahead. That's okay. Yes.
Yeah. Both programs are in accounting and finance. We have a substantial coverage in that. So the accounting, finance, and the financial analysis is one of the longest established programs in our subject group, and it focuses, as the title suggests, it focuses on the financial analytical side of it. So in practice, this is very much allowing someone who is not involved in the daily operations, daily running of an organization, and just can get hold of informations which is published by the company, i.e. the financial report, as well as the other informations about the industries and about, just based on those kind of published information, then to form the opinions about the company. So to analyze those information and then to form an opinion about typically those are the public or listed companies in stock markets, and then to see whether there is any opportunities to invest or not. So this is what the accounting and finance and the financial analysis program is really focused on. So allowing people who don't need to involve in a company but still need to be is the skill set you acquire from the program will be able to analyze and form opinion about the programs, for typically about the share price and whether there is an opportunity to invest, and etc. The other program, accounting, finance, and strategic investment, is we have substantial aspects of decision making and management accounting aspects. So this is typical for someone who wants to work in a treasury or finance departments within the company, and to formulate from the inside within the company, and to see where other investment opportunities for the company to grow their wealth and to make sustainable investments, and to also to make sustainable kind of decision making about the future about the company. So, and the modules we designed into this program really allow somebody to acquire those kind of a skill set to be able to formulate the strategic decisions about the company's operations, as well as about the investment opportunities they may have. So for somebody who wish to be a business consultant, like I mentioned early on, that somebody worked in the Big Fours, but not necessarily in auditing aspects, but they're mainly into the consulting aspects in those Big Fours or other accountancy firms. This is someone that some of our alumni got into those accountancy firms, but also we have alumni or graduates working within the company. For example, is not listed here, is in they worked as in the British Petroleum or Shell, in the management, so-called headquarter management firm, analyze the company's performance, advising the senior managements to see what kind of future strategic directions they should be making, and also about the investment aspects. And later on, those are the career track is, again, I mentioned CFO or finance directors, and then later on they will all make the into the kind of fortunate enough as a president or CEO of a company. So those are the CMAs is also did analysis, did a survey about the 500 listed companies in London Stock Exchange, and within that survey, they found that the FTSE 500 company, more than 50% of them are CIMA qualified. So this is the reason that we want to have have this, the accreditation from CIMA is a very good indication that the relevance of curriculums to the professional world, and also the expectation from the employers. Thank you. Anything, Dia, do you want to add anything?
I just wanted to highlight also the difference in the modules as well that you can see on the website. So you can see how that we have different modules. So we have two common modules for both MSc Accounting, Finance and Strategic Finance, and Accounting, Finance and Financial Analysis. So there's two common modules and the rest are different. So you can have a look and see which one suits you better as well.
Yeah. And also just so thank you, Dia. And also just to answer somebody, Jean, is that leave in the chat about the
Yes.
delivery of this. We since since 2003, we are gradually phased, and now it's 100% in person. Because yeah, those are the years, a few years that everybody, the whole world really, having the Zoom and Zoom meeting and the Zoom teaching and etc. But now we are back in person, 100%.
Just to add to that, it doesn't mean that when students miss a lecture that all is gone, right? Because many of the lectures are recorded and available to students, in addition to the usual materials as well. But for many modules, we actually offer recordings for people to catch up on whatever they've missed. Because sometimes things happen and you just can't attend the in-person session. So we try to help our students with that as well.
Thanks, everyone. Just checking there. Hopefully that answers your question. Andre, coming to you, just in terms of QFORM, I don't know if there's any kind of particular USPs of that particular program, or any ways that QFORM maybe sort of differs to the programs that we've talked about so far that you would like to highlight.
Thank you, Jen, and hello, everyone. I'm Andre Stanko. I'm a senior lecturer in finance and DPD for the QFARM program, which stands for Quantitative Finance and Risk Management. So as with as with the other two master programs, so each I would say, and as Bartosz said, is very flexible in the options that they offer in terms of the content, but of course each masters is let's say more focused towards a particular area. So MSc Finance would be slightly more broader, I would say, so covering modules such as corporate finance and financial derivatives, besides the other ones that are common across all of the modules. The MSc Banking and Finance is more focused towards the banking aspect. So you would have modules such as central banking and retail and investment banking. The QFARM program is more tailored towards, and as the name suggests, to quant finance and risk management. So as part of this program, you will be covering more quantitative modules. So you will do more programming. We have one module, MATLAB for finance, and also you will go deeper into risk management with the risk modeling module. Besides that, it also offers some additional optional modules that are not offered on the other programs, such as numerical methods and scientific programming and applied data science. So as is the case with the other two masters, we are constantly aiming to develop our curriculum, to introduce new modules, and really to take into account all of the development in the industry. So for quantitative finance and risk management, there is I would say, an increased need for professionals in this area. So in data science, in machine learning, in programming, and of course in risk management, in particular, I would say credit and fixed income sectors. And all of this is growing because, as we all are aware of, we are having this continuous advancement in technology. So now we have, I would say, the new buzzword is AI, which we are incorporating as well in our curriculum. I would say we, in particular, of interest to a student studying on the QFARM program is also the fact that we have an academic partnership with the CQF Institute. This is part of Fitch Learning and is the awarding body of the certificate in quantitative finance. And through this partnership, our students would get access to member-only benefits, free of charge, from the CQF Institute, and that includes a variety of online talks, conferences, and career advice, networking opportunities, and finance-focused workshops. So I would say these are the main points for the Q Farm, in addition to what was already said.
Thanks, Andre. We've had a question in the chat box there, and I guess this is for everybody. So the question is, do you offer placements specifically for the MSc Finance program? But I guess that could apply to all programs. So I don't know who wants to pick that up, because with it being a 12-month program, we don't tend to offer work-related placements, but it might be a good time to sort of think about the sort of exposure to industry that students get during their study with us.
Yeah, so since it's finance in the question, I will kick off. So yes, as Jen said, unlike our undergraduate programs where you can fit in 1 full year of a placement because students spend 3 or 4 years with us anyway, this is a very short program. All of them are. So you start in October effectively, and effectively by end of May, you are done with your semester 2 exams and all the learning and studying. And what you do is over the summer is the independent project, the dissertation. So there is a lot of stuff which you have to deal with between October and May, right? So that there isn't really a lot of time to fit in a meaningful placement during that time, which doesn't mean people don't have working experience, but it's not sort of, or during the study or in summer or just after graduation, but it's not integrated into the program because there just isn't enough time to do it in a meaningful way. But we do, well, that's what I wanted to mention as well. We do support our students in terms of their careers and in many different ways. So for instance, the school has a whole range of events in terms of careers support. So these are effectively every week there is something where you can attend on support for your career, for writing your CV, for instance, or application letter, or performing well in interviews and so on and so forth. And there is also one-to-one support. So if you have your letter and you would like to discuss it with a colleague who is specializing in that when you apply for jobs, that's available, or for someone to work with you on your CV to highlight your best features, that's available as well. So there is a lot of support in terms of careers for students. We also bring people from the industry into the classroom. So we have guest speakers on our modules who talk about the realities of working in the financial sector. We also take people to visit financial institutions. So the school has a program where we just take students and go with them to London, let's say, and visit some financial institutions, and they have opportunities to check how sort of the working environment looks like and talk to people working there and so on, and to them as potential employers. We also have something called Amplify Trading Simulation, which this year is an online approach. It's a company which actually trains people in the city of London, among other places, in big investment banks and so on, how to perform their jobs. And they offer the same type of training for our students. So you have a simulation of specific jobs in the financial industry. So for instance, as daily traders in foreign exchange or as a financial analyst. So there is sort of this experience of how to be, how it is to be doing a specific job, but it's not happening on the placement. It's happening, well, in this case, wherever you are online. So these are the sort of alternative channels we manage to fit into these tightly packaged programs, but there is no big proper placement on the postgraduate degree as such.
Thank you. I'm just sorry, Lana, did you want to come in there?
Yeah, I just want to add to what Bartosz said. In the accounting, finance, and strategic investment, we have a session called career coaching scheme. I guess it's similar along the line, you know, for the desire to have a placement is to link to your career path. And so for the career coaching scheme we developed is in linking with our alumni from FC degree program, and also at the different stage of their careers, and they are now working in different industries, both in the UK as well as abroad. And they will be a series of sessions which they will be talking to our students, and also there will be activity and project going on with that scheme. So this year it has been running very successfully for the past 2 years, and this year is the 3rd year running, and we expanded to accounting, finance, and financial analysis. So in a way, the career side of that, I noticed Jen has put it in the chat. We have a dedicated careers team, which also provides you with ample opportunities to stretch your skill set, you know, or practice your skill set, so to speak. But within the degree program, we also create those opportunities to connect you with the potential employers, as well as to inspire our students to, because sometimes is quite, as the question really indicates, you're not so sure which career path you want you know, to go into. So we bring the students in those positions few years ago, and to invite them to talk about, and from that kind of discussions and talk, that will help you to shape your thinking into some extent. So that this is the I think along this placement questions that we expanded on. Okay, thank you, Jan.
Thanks, everyone. Samvi, I think, do you have a question that you'd like to ask?
Yes, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I had a question regarding the courses. So currently, I'm pursuing my bachelor's in terms of a management degree. So my background is very much in management. So going by what Professor Lana said, if I wish to pursue a career in terms of financial decision making or like working in a finance department, I should go for the course of strategic investment. However, I am still considering if I want to go towards auditing as well. So if I do decide to take strategic investment right now, will I regret not taking financial analysis in the future, or will somewhat of that be covered in the strategic investment course as well?
From the module, I would suggest probably you have already had a chance to look at the details of the course content or the modules in both programs. You can see that we have substantial credits or modules covered on both accounting, financial accounting, and the management accounting. And so those are the things that which covers the aspects of auditing when you go into when you do decide to go down the auditing assurance, because knowing how the accounts and knowing what the latest developments in the in the financial in international financial reporting, you know, that kind of framework, and that's essential. So and also just to for both programs, we do have students going to the after graduate, they do find jobs in local accountancy firms, as well as the you know, Big Fours or Big Tens in the UK. So it doesn't restrict you from, you know, this is the channel that, or that this is a job you need to go. And you know, sometimes when they go into auditing, they also tend to move you around, because when you depend on which country you're going to, and you will find the company also will see your skill set, and they see will you know, it's a both way decision making, both way choice, that they will see your skill set. They can see, okay, this is when you recruited into, and then gradually they will see, okay, you have more skill, that you can take on more projects in different fields. So to answer your question, it doesn't restrict you either courses you choose. But, and also, I think maybe from your point of view, you may want to see whether if you choose financial analysis, it is for someone who's definitely want to be a financial analyst, or in working in a firm doing kind of auditing and account assurance kind of jobs, and with accounting, finance and strategic investment is for those. They give you a choice, and you can go into the accountancy firms, but also you can work in a firm, do a CFO track route, and also going to investment banks. And then, we have students from this course going to all these different career paths. So hopefully that will give you some kind of idea towards your choice.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm just conscious of time. This last hour has flown by. What I would ask is if there's any further questions for our academics to let yourself be known now, and or drop them in the chat box. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll wrap up and let our academics get back to their busy days. And we can stay on the line and we can cover off the application process, as well as a little bit more information on the student experience and what you can expect. Just to say as well, we can, if you do have a question after this session, that's absolutely no problem at all. We've got the email address on the end of these slides, which I'll share with you all, and you can ask a question later on down the line. We can also, if you would prefer a one-to-one conversation, we can look at the possibility of that for you as well. So that's just a final shout out if anyone has any questions with regards to the programs that we've covered today. Okay, so I'm going to take the silence as everyone's kind of got their answers for today. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today, from our academic community. That's Bartosz, Lana, Andre and Dia. Thank you so much for making the time. I'll release you now to go back, unless you'd like to stay on the call. You're more than welcome. And no problem at all. And we'll move on with the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. So hopefully you found that session useful. In terms of what we're going to cover next, like I say, you can absolutely ask more questions if you have any further thoughts at all. That's no problem. You can see that we've got a YouTube channel there. We've got our Instagram and also our website as well. And also, you can also note down the email address that we've got in the box there. If you would like to pick up on any further detail, we'll make sure that you get that. Now, that could be today, it could be next week, it could be next month. So don't sit on any questions that may occur to you. So just to wrap up slightly in terms of today's session, I'm aware that some of you might be at the position where you're still applying and still considering programs. That's absolutely fine. Some of you might already be offer holders. So just a quick reminder on what our application process looks like here at Newcastle. Obviously, thank goodness you're aware of all the programs that we now have available. And you'll also hopefully be aware of the entry requirements. Now, broadly speaking, we look for a 2-1. And all of the programs that we've talked about today are what we call conversion programs. So you don't necessarily have to come from a particular undergraduate academic background. A good understanding and confidence with maths is great. But what I would say to you is that if you're not sure if you're going to come out with a 2-1 or a 2-2, UK equivalent, sorry, international equivalent, please don't let that put you off applying. We will always do our best to identify strong candidates through personal statements. So please apply, and what we can do is we can make you an offer, or we can make you a contextual offer. Sometimes if somebody applies to us and we can see that they're a promising candidate, but they haven't quite reached that 2-1, there are ways and means that we can put in place to support you onto the programme. And that can be through things like a short pre-master's course, or perhaps if you don't have the English language prerequisite, there are short pre-sessional programs that you can study before joining onto the program as well. So make sure you're aware of your options there. And as I would say, we would welcome applications if you think you are going to be in or around a 2-1, and we can look at your application from there and support you where we possibly can. The next stage will be to prepare your application documents. Now, by that we mean your personal statement and your transcripts from your undergraduate degree. I would say do that sooner rather than later. With transcripts, it can sometimes take a little while for these things to be pulled together, especially if you need to request them from your previous institution. With regards to your personal statement, do take some time to think about what you want to say on there. There's no great mystery to a personal statement. Be open, be honest, share why you're interested in a particular program and a broad overview of where your interests lie, what you're hoping to contribute to this program, and what you'd like to get out of it as well. You are by no means expected to have a clear idea of exactly what you want to do. If you do, that's fantastic. But if you're open to where your career could go, but you're looking to use this next 12 months as an opportunity to explore further, that's absolutely fine. It's about that passion. And you'll know you've met the DPDs now, the degree program directors. They want people who are going to be on their programs, who are passionate about their area of interest, who are keen to learn, keen to develop. So don't be afraid to use previous examples of areas where you've developed, or modules that you might have studied previously that have sparked your interest in this particular area. And if you want any further support with how to write a personal statement, again, contact us and we'll be happy to provide some tips on that. Once you've got all of those things in place, you can put your application together and you can apply through our online application portal. That you can find that via all of the program pages under the Apply Now click through, and basically it's just an external portal that will handle all of the communications and hold all of your data, keeping it nice and simple for you. You will also get updates throughout the process. At the moment, after you apply, you will usually we will usually make a decision around I think it's 3 to 5 working days at the moment. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer depending on how busy our admissions are, but you will usually find that you will get a decision pretty quickly from us in terms of an offer. Let's assume that you will get an offer, no problem at all. When you do get that, fantastic. What I would recommend you do is you accept it as soon as you possibly can, and then start to pursue getting your visa sponsorship in place. Now, the reason I stress that is because depending on where you are in the world, we know that processes can be a little bit slower or can be a little bit faster. What we don't want to do, and what we have happening quite a lot, is we can find that students can often find themselves under extra stress trying to get their visa sponsorship in place. So basically you're looking to get your Tier 4 all nice and sorted out with Newcastle University Business School named on there. So the quicker you get into that process, the less stress that'll be on you, and the more you can focus on actually being excited about traveling to the UK, settling in the UK, coming to Newcastle and thinking about all the important stuff about where you're going to live and what your life's going to look like. So I would recommend getting on that as soon as you can. Assuming you meet all of your offer conditions, we'll accept your offer, and then we'll get all the bits and pieces confirmed from there for you. If there's any questions on that, just let us know. But we're in touch with you right the way through. We know it can be a little bit of a tricky one to get all the various details in place. That's what the portal's for. That's what we're here for. So if you do find yourself with any questions on that, just let us know. I'll not go through this again, but really all I wanted to draw your attention to on this particular slide is that pre-masters program and the pre-sessional English program that we run with our international partner Into. They will support you very much if you come away with if your IELTS isn't what you expected it to be, or if your undergraduate degree isn't exactly what you wanted and you do end up with a 2-2. It's not a disaster. Please talk to us about this. Please let us know your overall results, and as I say, we will work with you to try and find a way to get you where you need to be and for you to progress onto a degree here at Newcastle University Business School. Just a quick word on scholarships. Hopefully you'll all be aware of them. They're all available on our website right now. You just go to the business school website, stick scholarships in the search box, and it'll come up. just to be aware, so scholarships work in two different ways. We have university scholarships, and we also have scholarships based in the business school. I'm just going to focus on the ones that are based in the business school for the time being. The university ones will there's a range available, and there's lots of them. So depending on your personal circumstances, depending on where you're applying from in the world, you might have scholarships that are available to you or not, as the case may be. So I would recommend you look on the website, put your country that you live in, your home country, into that search box, and the right one will come up, the right options will come up for you. As you can see on this particular slide, we've got Business Excellence Scholarships and Dean's International Excellence Scholarships. Now they both come in at £10,000 tuition fee discount, and you see that we've got some criteria on there on what we tend to look for. Overall, we would look for somebody with a 2-1, and we would look for somebody with a 7.0 in IELTS for that particular one. You'll see that we do tend to target specific countries in there, especially for the Dean's International Excellence Scholarship, so Taiwan, Hong Kong, Cyprus, Greece, Italy, etc., etc. The reason we do that is because we know that there are strong, generous scholarships for students applying to us from the likes of China and India. So this is a way for us to attract students and recruit students from what we call more diversity-led countries. What we want to do is we want to make sure we've got as broad a span of cultural representation in our classrooms as possible. So to do that, we have a scholarship that targets those individuals. However, if you are contacting us from India, or you are considering joining us from China, again, look on our website, look on our scholarships, and search by your country of origin, and they will be able to give you advice on what's available for you. I'm just going to go to the chat box because I see a question's gone in. So on the offer conditions, I can send the documents required to the email, as there are no ways to upload it to the portal. I think there will be ways to upload it to the portal, but if you've got any doubts on that, bob it on an email, and we'll try and direct you from there. Yeah, but you should be able to upload everything you need to via the portal. If you're having trouble, do reach out to us. That's no problem at all. Just a quick word on some upcoming events that we have. It's really important to us that you feel comfortable as possible in your decision making. So join us throughout March, when we've got lots of opportunities for you to learn more about what life's like here in Newcastle and here in the school. I think one of the most important ones that you can dial into is our careers and employability webinar, which will take place on the 12th of March. This will be led by one of our careers consultants, and they're going to talk in a lot more detail about the career support that you can expect here. I know we've touched a lot on it today, and I know it's very uncertain. You want to make sure you're making the right decision for yourself, and you want to make sure that this 12 months and this degree gets you to where you want to be in for your graduate career. They'll talk to you a little bit about how they'll work with you to ensure that. So dial in for that one, because it should be really informative, and also it'll be great for you to understand like all the supplementary activities and opportunities that we have here in the school for you to take part in. That's things like career treks to places like London and Edinburgh and Manchester. That's internships with local organisations. It's business-led competitions. It's skills workshops, and the list goes on and on. So do dial in for that one. The day after that, we have an exciting session with our dean, where you'll get to we'll run a webinar similar to this, but it'll be with Professor Stuart Robinson, who's our dean here in the business school. Stuart has has a very illustrious career. He joined us from Loughborough University, and before that he was at Warwick University, so both very high-profile universities here in the UK. And he's going to talk during that session and answer your questions about life here at Newcastle, and why we think Newcastle's a really great place to come and study. A little bit later on in March, we will look at industry engagement. So what you can expect on whichever program you go for, what you can expect in terms of guest speakers, connections with industry, and the sort of companies that we work with and the sort of industries that we work with. And then finally, on the 26th of March, you can learn a little bit more about our business school alumni as well. I think we just had another couple of questions through, so bear with me. So just to answer Jean's question, how would you apply for a Business Excellence Scholarship? Also, do you know when you'd find out if you've been accepted for the scholarship? Okay, so Amber, if you are applying to us from one of those those countries that we mention, those targeted countries, if it's one of our business school led scholarships, you'll find out about that. You don't have to undergo like a specific application process. If you fit into that criteria, you'll naturally fall into consideration for one of those scholarships. So if you fall in, so if you think that you're eligible for the Dean's International Excellence Scholarship, there's no specific application process, just apply as you would normally. And what we do is we download a list of applicants and offer holders who have the right level of criteria. So in this case, it would be a 2-1 and a 7.0 in the IELTS, and we make offers off the back of that. With regards to the university ones, I'm not too sure about their rules and regulations. I suspect it's similar, but double check on the university website for any scholarships that you might be applying for, and they'll give you specific guidance on how to apply if there are any extra application processes that you have to go through. I hope that answers your question. If you do have any further questions on that afterwards, drop us a line and we'll pick up offline. Chancellor Simi's question on how early can one resume for October 2025 date start? I think if I'm reading you right here, how early can one resume for October 25? So if you're, I think you mean in here, how early can you apply for an October 2025 start date? So all of our programs start in September 2025. So we would always recommend that our students arrive during what we call International Welcome Week. And this is usually the week before official classes start. It's usually around the second week in September, but that can sometimes flex. We will be in touch with you about exactly what those dates look like when you receive your offer. That's why we say get your visa sponsorship sorted out as quickly as you possibly can, so that you've got all of your paperwork lined up and you're able to join us here for International Welcome Week. The Welcome Week's a fantastic way to meet all of your classmates, meet other students, attend lots of events, get to know the colleagues and staff here within the business school, get to know the city a little bit as well. So if that's what you were asking, then I would say try and make sure that you're with us for that week. If you're not able to join us for that week, don't worry, these things happen every year. We do have some students who are only able to join us, when term starts, and that's understandable. So it's not the end of the world. You can join us when at the beginning of talk classes, and that's understandable. Again, if there are any delays at your end in terms of visa or whatever it happens to be, I think it's usually about a 1 or 2 week leeway that we provide to our students to join us. Anything after that, if you join after that, it's going to be detrimental to your experience. It's going to be really difficult for you to catch up. So I would say that best case scenario, try and get to us for International Welcome Week. If not, first week of study. But again, you can be in contact with us throughout that time if you do experience any problems. Okay. So that's pretty much all of the content that we wanted to cover with you today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording. But I will stay on the line. If anyone wants to ask any questions offline, I'll stay on for a couple of minutes. So in the meantime, I'll officially say thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and we hope to see you at other events over the coming weeks and months.